Hard Mark Podcast.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first video thing that we've done for the Hard Mark Podcast. My name's Eric Donaldson. With me, as always, is the man of 1,001 or 54,097 compliments, the soul skater, the maitre d' Matt Drama, the Tampa Bay topsider, the living painting, the talent, flying Ryan Murphy. We are together here today. This is a loose, informal thing. Not only is the very first video thing, which I love how Ryan's just on his phone at the very start of this. Can't even be respectful enough to the audience to give them his full attention. But we're he briefly did. But we're here today to talk about the big wrestling show, Ryan's first wrestling show in his whole life that he's ever been to. I'm taking him to that on Sunday, which he still owes me $85 for, but that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here.
You want my Zelle? Like, is you want my Zelle account, Eric? Like,
please. Yeah,
I
just
saw
share
your
it
message. I will fucking Venmo you or Zelle you, whatever you're on. I'll get you, Eric.
Can you please, because again, this is not everyone necessarily may be watching the video version, but for people who are, can you just briefly
video version?
Yeah.
On every podcast?
Spotify allows for video, so this will be up on Spotify. Anyone who's listening on Spotify will be able to see us. I'll also post it up on our YouTube channel.
Look at my room. Like, look where I live. Look how I live.
A fair,
I don't
reflection.
Think that's fair. You have a nice, like, oh, I live in a house. I got a fucking slidey deck. Like, you got everything. Like, and I have a bed that's barely made. Like,
you got a printer. Can you just tell the people why you're wearing sunglasses, please, so then we can move on from that?
I don't have to explain myself or something.
Jesus.
I just put them on.
This is what I've been dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 15 to 20 minutes. He's real chippy, and it's unclear why. I think he had to work a full day, and now he's just very punchy. So I don't know what that means for this recording, but this should be relatively brief. This is literally just going to be kind of running down the card, the list of matches for the big AEW Double or Nothing show in Las Vegas this coming Sunday, May 29th. And so, again, this will be Ryan's first show that he's ever seen live, period. Not even necessarily in person, but I don't even think Ryan's ever even watched, live wrestling since maybe a couple minutes here and there when he was a kid. Would that be fair to say?
Like on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely never been to a wrestling match. So, that said, I did tell some people I was going to a live wrestling match, which sparked interest in the podcast.
Oh,
and I think I texted you, but
yeah,
he could not put his, we were at the bar. Usually you kind of hey, I'll listen to it for a second, blah, blah, blah. This guy had his phone up to his ear for probably 10, 15 minutes. He's like, I think he said, he likes you,
Oh,
he's like, this guy can run a podcast, nice.
what a fine compliment that is.
I'm
And so he
saying,
may even be watching your risky business looking ass right now.
He could be. But shout out to the person who puts it together, on the daily.
Not quite that often, but a fair amount of my free time does go into this. So thanks. But for anyone who may be watching this, you've never seen or heard us before. Basically, the brief synopsis of our show is: I've been watching wrestling for multiple decades. Ryan has now watched just over approximately 60 matches in total. We have charted each of those out. We have all sorts of different data points. We are ranking every single match that he has watched in his history of pro wrestling fandom. And so we're basically just kind of now taking that next step into bringing Ryan to a live wrestling match. So if this is your first time checking this out, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you enjoy some of the other episodes that you may check out as well. But for Sunday, Ryan, I thought it would be good just so you have some frame of reference for what it is that you're going to be seeing. I'm sure not everything that we talk about here today is going to stick with you, but I thought it'd be good because
Jesus.
You're going to be, well,
Jesus, Eric.
I would not blame you. I'll just
These
say
things
that.
stick in my mind. Every wrestling match I've ever watched,
Well,
right here, organized in a table in my brain.
You've got a Google sheet in your mind right now.
Pivoted it out. Just like it's don't disrespect me, Eric.
Well, this is so Ryan. In total on this show on Sunday, there is 11 matches announced.
Are we seeing 11?
We are going to be seeing 11.
Wow.
And so the reason that we are here today, Ryan, is to kind of give you a rundown, a summary. I would expect this show to be approximately 4 to 5 hours in total.
All right. I mean, it's
we have seats, so you're not having to stand that whole time. I know your bum ankles and everything.
They're not. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But so that's just kind of the general kind of vibe of this thing, just so you have a mental preparation. But let's go into the details around this thing. So the show that we're going to, it's called AEW. That stands for All Elite Wrestling. That is their Double or Nothing show. They always, or at least they usually have it in Las Vegas when there's not a global pandemic happening. But this show is going to be the 3rd anniversary of this upstart wrestling company. It is owned by Tony Khan, who is the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That means anything.
It does to me.
Okay. They're the first company in decades, and when I say first company, I'm talking about All Elite Wrestling. They're the first company in decades to pose a serious challenge to the WWE for the U.S. wrestling market. So they're kind of an up-and-coming type of promotion. So they're known for very extremely hot crowds, high-flying action.
Crowds.
Crowds that are like reacting to everything.
Well, nice. I like that.
A lot of WWE crowds, and this isn't necessarily like to shit on them necessarily, but a lot of them are families. I wouldn't say that. There's a lot of families. They tend to sometimes like be sitting on their hands. It takes a lot to get a reaction out of them. Whereas AEW, like everybody that's going to the show except for you, is super into the product, very knowledgeable about it, and like reacts to everything. So it should be a very fun live environment.
Is it supposed to be filled to capacity?
So I think it is filled to capacity. It's going to be at the T-Mobile Arena.
I've been there.
Have you really?
Yep.
For what?
Hockey.
Oh, okay. So the stage that they have set up for the show, that is going to take out a portion of the seating, so it's not going to be necessarily like as full number wise as it may necessarily be for like a fully sold out hockey game. But for the amount of seating that they have, I believe it has been sold out for months.
Well,
yeah. But
luckily you were on it a year ago.
I've been planning this for a good long time. But before the actual main show starts, Ryan, there is going to be a pre-show match. So I'm going to send to you a link here. And so for each of the matches that are happening, I'm just going to send you a quick link your way so you can kind of see, and you can follow the link if you want. You may even be able to just get what you need from the little screen grab there. But a little overview of each of our matches. So let me know once you have that in front of you there.
I do.
Okay. So this match that you have up in front of you, that is going to be the pre-show match. So not that there's really any difference for like our experience of being fans in the audience, but technically for most pay-per-views, you've got like where the actual show starts, and then they'll usually have a match before that to kind of entice people. Hey, you should buy the show, whatever. So this is the pre-show match. It is Hook and Danhausen, which are the gentlemen on the left-hand side of that picture, versus Tony Nese and smart Mark Sterling. Not hard Mark Sterling, but smart Mark Sterling. So in summary here, Hook, the gentleman on the far left there, he's a cool young badass that everybody loves. His partner, Danhausen, is a weird comedy demon guy that everybody loves as well. They have decided to join forces to the delight of AEW fans. Tony Nese, who is the shirtless gentleman on the right, he has felt disrespected and overlooked by AEW fans and has set to make a name for himself by taking out these fan favorites. Again, I'm talking about Hook and Danhausen. His manager, Smart Mark Sterling, has gotten mixed up in things too, creating this match. I would expect comedy hijinks.
It's the tag team match, or
it is a tag team match. There is going to be a lot of team matches on this show, for better or for worse, and we'll see that as we kind of run down the card a little bit. But yes, this is a tag team match. It's the very first time Hook and Danhausen have teamed up together, and they are taking on Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. But again, should be more of a comedy match, less of a serious grudge match type of thing.
I'm taking it seriously.
As far as anything, and for each of these matches, I've written down something that Ryan may need to do or kind of keep in mind during the match. For this one, just have fun.
We'll see.
Any questions around Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right, let's move along. So to the main card, my friend. It's important to note that at the main card, there's going to be the finals of 2 Owen Hart tournament brackets, we'll just say. So there's a men's and a women's Owen Hart tournament that's been happening over the past month or two. Owen Hart is actually someone who I've seen on the program previously. He reminded you of your Uncle James. He actually died back in 1999 performing a stunt in the ring for the WWF.
In the ring, he died?
Yeah, doing a stunt. He did not die wrestling. He died doing a stunt in the ring. Basically, they were lowering him from the ceiling, and the harness that they had him rigged up to failed, and so he fell, not all the way from the top of the arena or anything like that, but basically far enough to the point where he died. And so because of that, because of him dying in a stunt, his widow, rightfully so, has declined any involvement with the WWF ever since then because of their negligence with that. And so this tournament, this Owen Hart tournament, is the first time in over 20 years that Owen has been honored for his contributions to pro wrestling. So it's kind of a big deal in that regard.
Yeah, no, good. That's crazy.
It's yes, so it's a big deal. I know there's a lot to thrust on you that you weren't necessarily expecting, but as far as the finals of these tournaments, here is the finals of the men's side, which is
the longest link.
I know. I don't know where that came from exactly, but it came from somewhere. But we've got big boy Samoan Bruiser. We've actually seen him before. Samoa Joe. He was actually described by Ryan as being, quote, cuddly, unquote, back in episode 52. He was in the big TNA triple threat match that we watched. He is facing cocky dick Adam Cole in the final of the men's tournament in a first ever meeting between these two. So expect Samoa Joe to rely on his power, his strength. Expect Adam Cole to use speed and trickery because, again, he's kind of a dick.
He does look cuddly. Like I just stand by that. I
bet he smells great too.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to be like a dick. I bet he actually smells phenomenal. That's just my gauge looking at him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. As far as things that Ryan has to do during the match, Adam Cole, his entrance song. There are points where people all yell boom. I'll make sure to give you a little nudge to the ribs whenever you got to yell boom during that. Also, he does a thing where he kind of like gets down in the ring, etc., and then he like waits for it, and then he pops up, hits both double fingers in the air, and he yells Adam Cole baby, and the entire arena will also yell Adam Cole baby at the same time. So you got to do those things. You also, if you ever hear people start to chant, Joe is going to kill you, you got to participate in that chant as well, which that's kind of a Joe is going to kill you. That's the cadence. I'm into it. That's what I do. So if you're not hoarse by the end of this thing, I'm going to be disappointed.
I will be. I plan on being. Yeah.
I hope you're wearing your sunglasses during the show. Our next match, sir, which is the other Owen Hart tournament finals for the women this time, however. I couldn't get a picture because it's not really determined who's actually going to be wrestling just yet. So I did my best. So
nice.
The people that are involved are going to be actual dentist Britt Baker, DMD, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Which
She's on
one
the
is
left.
the dentist?
She's the one left wearing the top that's red and black.
A dentist in Vegas?
No, she's good question. She's a Pittsburgh dentist.
She's a Pittsburgh dentist. Okay.
Pittsburgh dentist, which usually is a slur that you call.
I would have maybe gone to the dentist sooner rather than later.
If your dentist looked like Britt Baker, that's fair. So she's a former women's champion. In the picture I'm actually showing Ryan here, she's holding the title, but she's no longer the champion. But she is. Go ahead.
She used tools on the wrestling match, like dental tools,
I'm glad you asked this. Her finishing maneuver is called the lockjaw. She basically puts on a glove and then she puts her hands in the people's mouths and starts stretching it.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So she does incorporate that, and her entrance song starts with this little voice clip. The doctor will see you now, and then it gets into stuff. But yeah, no, she's legitimately somehow both a full-time dentist in Pittsburgh and a professional wrestler. Legitimately, this is real. She's an actual dentist. But anyway, she's in the finals of this tournament. She's a cheater. She's a no-good cheater. She uses her friends to help her win her matches. Her opponent in the finals of the women's Owen tournament has not been determined. That won't be determined until tomorrow night on Rampage. It is either going to be punk rocker Ruby Soho, who you can see on the right there with the red hair, or it is going to be self-proclaimed alien from the Andromeda Galaxy, Kris Statlander, who is on the far right picture there. You can see her in the green. But one of those two ladies are going to be facing off against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Any questions or any of that?
I think I got them answered. So
cool. As far as what Ryan needs to do during that match, wink at cuties.
I'm there to wink at cuties.
Yeah, but if you're wearing the sunglasses, you got to peek over them and then give them a little wink like that. So that's what you got to do there. Next, we've got a tag team title match. Let me send you that link, my friend. It is not going to be 2 teams. It is going to be 3 teams, my friend. It is going to be the Jurassic Express. It is going to be Team Taz featuring Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, and then is going to be Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. So
are any of them
go ahead.
Dentists?
None of them are dentists,
okay.
Unfortunately. Now, there are some notable members of those respective teams, though, for other reasons, but non-dentist reasons.
Non-doctor of
yeah,
dental.
no doctors that I'm aware of, unless there's a doctor of love in there. But the team in the middle, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, collectively known as Jurassic Express. Luchasaurus is a dinosaur man. He claims to be several thousand years old and to weigh several tons because, again, he's a dinosaur man. Mm-hmm. So not a dentist, but equally as good in other ways. And then his partner, Jungle Boy, which is the hunky-looking gentleman kind of in the middle left there. He's actually the son. I don't know if this actor would ring a bell for you or not, just because of your age. If you're familiar with Luke Perry, he is the son of deceased actor Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
He was, most notably, and again, this is before your time.
Not Luke Wilson.
No, not Luke Wilson. A different Luke. No, Luke Perry was on Beverly Hills 90210 back in the day. He was a heartthrob back then.
I'm a young guy, Eric.
Right.
I only watch so much.
Often described as the modern day Luke Perry.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's the actual son of Luke Perry, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. They're the reigning tag team champions. They've actually gotten mixed up into a feud that has been broiling between the Team Taz members of Powerhouse Hobbs and Absolute Ricky Starks over there on the right, and then Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. My favorite type of tag team, just so you're aware, Ryan, is a big man, little man team, and we've got 3 of them right here. Also worth noting, Swerve, who is not on the far left, but he is immediately next to the gentleman on the far left. Swerve hails from Tacoma, Washington.
Great city. One of my favorites.
Great city. I've seen him many, many times wrestle in the great city of Seattle. So I'm pulling for them because of our local boy Ty right there. Let's see. As far as things Ryan has to do during the match, he has to sing Jungle Boy's theme song. So Jungle Boy's theme is Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. If you know that song. Oh,
Do they
that.
they put the lyrics up on the big screen while you're singing, like just
You just have to do the chorus. You just have to do the oh. You know what else? Nobody knows the actual words.
Is that a baseball stadium song too?
I don't think I've heard it at a baseball stadium,
Okay,
but
I
wouldn't know
well, the
that.
way you're describing it makes it sound like.
If you just Google Tarzan Boy Baltimore, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know. It was big in like the early '90s. I think there was some Jonathan Taylor Thomas movies that probably had that. Jungle with Tim Allen, I think, or something. I don't know.
Oh.
No, different. No, that's Zombie Nation. That's Zombie Nation. Sir.
Eric. Well done. Well fucking like handled right there.
Similar but
Yeah,
different.
okay,
I can see how those two things would get mixed up. As far as so things you have to do, you have to sing to the Jungle Boy theme song. There is probably almost certainly going to be a chant of "Whose house? Swerve's house." So you got to do that. And then his partner Keith Lee, big boy Keith Lee, you have to chant "Bask in his glory" when he does rad shit. So Keith Lee's like in the mid 300 pounds. He's like a former football player. He's incredibly athletic for his size. So when he does fucking awesome shit, people are going to start chanting, "Oh, bask in his glory." And you got to get in on that.
Just bring a sign, maybe, like just
a sign of chants.
Consolidate like all the chants into one sign.
Right. That way, when you're confused, I can just point that chant right there. That's
right. Like I'll bring like you can flip them over.
No, I understand.
I'll be the sign guy. Yeah.
Everyone loves a good sign guy. Next, we're going back to the ladies because we have got ourselves a TBS championship match, which is kind of like a secondary women's title. It's not on the world title level. It's like a mid-level, like the Intercontinental belt for the WWF, as we've seen before. But we've got Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. So Jade Cargill there on the left with the green hair. She's an undefeated rookie. She is currently 30-0, which is much better than Ryan's record as it stands right now.
They're not comparable, Eric. What a dick statement, dude.
You think it'd be a lot easier to just win those matches than it would be to predict the matches?
I'm just saying, Eric. You can't cross those up.
Well, I mean,
I've been through a lot.
Lie. That's true.
Right.
I mean, you're wearing sunglasses for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
But Jade Cargill is the current TBS champion. She's also the very first TBS champion, for that matter. She's defending against one of the youngest members of the AEW roster, the 23-year-old Anna Jay, who is a member of the popular Dark Order faction. Jade Cargill wants to continue her streak. Anna wants to establish herself and win her first title in AEW. So overall, pretty simple stuff.
Good.
Things Ryan has to do during this match, maybe consider getting Eric a beer and a snack.
I will. I'll buy her a beer and a snack. What snacks does she like?
I don't know. Is there any cool food that's at T-Mobile Arena that I should be aware of?
Jesus, Eric. Like,
garlic fries are always good, but I don't know.
They don't have garlic. That's a Sicko Field Staples.
I didn't know. Then fucking, I don't know, man. We'll talk more. We'll figure it out. Maybe not.
We'll take this offline and then we'll circle back.
Yeah, some synergistic solutions will be found.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we've got Death Triangle versus the House of Black. So this match, I think you'll probably end up liking quite a bit. This should be a fucking wild time. We have got Pentagon and Phoenix, who are 2/3 of the Death Triangle. They are the gentlemen wearing the masks. They're both insane. And then their partner, Pac, who's kind of the angry, brooding man in the center left. He is one of the greatest athletes in the history of wrestling, in my opinion.
Oh, nice.
They are all pissed at their opponents, the House of Black, because their leader, the gentleman in the center there, Malachi Black, has been spitting poison in their faces for months. Malachi is backed up by his disciples. We've got Buddy Matthews on the left and Brody King on the right. So grudge match. We've got a you spit poison in my eyes grudge match. A tale as old as time happening in this one. As far as things that Ryan has to do during this match, he needs to bask in the crapulence of the House of Black's rad entrance. It's fucking cool. All the lights go out. Then there's like spotlights that shine, and like it's because the lights are all dark, you don't know where they're going to be, and then they pop up and there's lights. It's fucking awesome. And also on the far left there, that's Pentagon. He's the one sticking his little tongue out. He does a thing because he's a native Spanish speaker. Cero miedo. That's his catchphrase, which means zero fear. But he does a thing where he's like zero miedo, and he sticks his hand in the guy's face, and so you got to chant along with that.
I will. I'll throw the sign up too.
Yes, because you're going to win that, and they're going to give you the Stein as a prize, and then you're just going to walk around Vegas holding this Hofbrauhaus Stein.
That's what I'm planning on. Like
the perfect plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Moving along to our last couple of matches. I know it feels like we've talked about a lot, but there's still a couple more. We have got the Women's World Championship match. So we have got the defending champion Thunder Rosa on the left there. She is going to be facing off against Serena Deeb. So Thunder Rosa is
a brutal-looking woman. Like,
Thunder Rosa?
No, the other one.
Serena Deeb.
Damn.
There's a hook for both of these people. So Thunder Rosa on the left, former MMA fighter turned professional wrestler. She's been cheap shotted multiple times by Serena Deeb, also known as the Professor, also known as the Woman of 1,000 Holds. I don't know if that endears her to you or not, or if you're just mad that she's, taking your catchphrase. But either way, Serena Deeb is that. So Deeb wants respect. She knows the only way to get it is to become the AEW Women's Champion.
I like her.
Which one? Serena
Deeb.
That's the first person that you've said so far that you've liked.
I mean, I like the dentist too, but like,
I like the dentist. What draws you to Serena Deeb in this picture? Just because she looks like no nonsense, like you?
I mean, she's got a lot of experience coming in, right? Like she's been disrespected. She had a long day, like
she had a long day. Who can't appreciate people that go through long days?
Right. No, I'm with her. I'm with her 100%.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds like you got some picks. And just so we're clear here, Ryan, and for any Markomaniacs who may be listening to this, I'm not planning to have you make predictions throughout the show, nor am I planning to have you rank these matches on our list. For me, I think that the live wrestling experience is like 100% different than the when you're just watching on TV, for example. Maybe if there's a match that you really end up liking, maybe we could evaluate that for the show in the future. But initially, anyway, I'm not planning on have you doing any rankings or anything, just so everybody's clear on that. And Ryan's clear. So we'll move along. As far as what Ryan needs to do during the Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb match, anything he wants. I'm not his boss. Moving along.
And you move on.
And I move on.
You're acting like my boss,
Am I? Did you have something else you want to say about Thunder Rosa Serena Deeb? Did I cut you off?
No, I think I got my thoughts out. In that. Okay, here comes the next one.
Here comes the next one.
It just doesn't stop there.
It does not
stop all fucking day. It just doesn't stop.
You've got a couple more to go, but no, it will stop eventually. So here we've got the Young Bucks versus the Hardys. So it is time, Ryan, for a dream match. These teams have wrestled before, but not on a stage this large. We've got the Young Bucks, who are, I should pull up the thing. They're the gentlemen on the left in the headbands. They're arguably the best tag team of the past decade. They're going to be taking on the Hardys, who are arguably the best team of the previous decade, and who we've actually... Go ahead.
I got the Young Bucks. I'm just sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. I got the Young Bucks on this one. I already called it.
Why?
Because I just got a feel for it. It's in my veins.
Is it the dangly earrings? Is that why? Does that speak to your interest?
I feel for right now that those guys have it covered versus the fucking Hardys. They just have it covered.
Did you know that we've seen the Hardys before?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Do you remember the match we saw them in?
Of course I do, Eric.
Do you?
Eric, I could pull up a spreadsheet of where I rank them. All right.
Well, in case
could any other wrestling fan pull up a spreadsheet of where they rank them? Probably not. Maybe they remember, but they couldn't pull up a spreadsheet. I'm just saying, Eric, respect my game, even though I didn't make the spreadsheet.
Noted. Well, for any Markomaniacs who don't recall and who don't have the spreadsheet up in front of them, it was back in episode 50, which is a pretty monumental episode. That was our tag team TLC match, tables and ladders and chairs. Oh my! The Hardys were in that match. They're still kicking around. That match that we saw back in episode 50 was in the year 2000. So imagine all the bumps that have happened since then, all the other ladder matches that have taken place since that point. So I would, in my opinion, I would expect the Bucks to go out of their way to make the Hardys look good, win or lose, but it should be very sports entertaining.
You think I'm going to lose? Because
no.
No, damn it,
my
Eric,
pick would actually be the Young Bucks as well. That's who I think will win the match as well.
All right. Oh.
I did make picks. I didn't get into it because I don't think we need to cover that necessarily. I did make picks for all these matches as well. I also picked the Young Bucks to win, but I think that they're going to make the Hardys look good. I think they have a lot of respect for the Hardys, so I think that they're going to go out of their way to make it an entertaining match, even if they do win, which I expect that they will. And you do too. And you're
I do too. I picked them.
Goddamn expert at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Moving along, we've got just a handful of matches left, 3 by my count. If I'm not incorrect here. So our next match, we have got Wardlow. I apologize for this picture. This is not for the actual match itself, but the gentlemen featured on it are who will be featured in this match. Oh, and before I actually move on to this, as far as the Hardys versus the Young Bucks match, things Ryan has to do during that, maybe consider starting a Let's Go Mariners chant and see how it goes.
That just picked up.
Yeah, right, exactly. Everybody like, yeah, fucking Ken Griffey Jr. I love that guy.
I might wear my Ken Griffey Jr. shirt to the game, to the wrestling match.
Well, you have a wrestling shirt you could wear to the wrestling match, Ryan.
But would maybe Ken Griffey Jr. do a little bit better? Like, you know.
Do better in what regard? How, in what way?
Like respect for me as a wrestling fan. Like Ken Griffey.
I really want. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, as far as he's the pinnacle of his sport, you know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for pinnacle of wrestling. Like, people get it.
Part of me really would like you to wear the low shirt because in the off chance that somebody, because everybody's going to be wearing fucking wrestling shirts.
What if I do this? What if I wear the low shirt and then I put the Ken Griffey Jr. shirt on top of the low shirt?
You're not going to get too sweaty.
You still see it. All right, it's Vegas, man. It's hot. So.
I mean, either way, but it would make me laugh very hard if you were wearing the low shirt and somebody stopped you, was like, "Oh, nice shirt," and you had to like play along like you knew what the fuck they were talking about. That would make me laugh quite a bit. But like everyone's gonna be wrestling shirts, so
you came all the way out to Vegas. I can probably scrounge up the shirt, and you know, we'll see. But I have a style, Eric. I have a Mariners style. I'm through and through a Mariners fan. You know, out here, I need to show people.
Actually, speaking of garb for the event on Sunday, I was actually going to propose to you a gentleman's agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked a little bit about this Steinholding contest. We've floated out some ideas of what the loser may have to do. I don't think some of the ideas, while funny, I don't know how practical they are about giving Ryan cornrows and you know, bleaching my tips and stuff like that. So I wanted to throw out to you something. This is already in my bag. I have it packed. I have I guess I really can't think of any other way to describe it besides a onesie that looks like you are naked. It's a flesh-colored, hair-covered onesie. I was going to float the idea to you of whoever loses the Steinholding contest would then wear that onesie to the wrestling match the next day.
I mean, it's fair. It's fair offer. Like, you know, let's float it for a little bit longer in our heads.
That sounds like somebody who's not especially confident in his ability to win the Steinholding contest.
I mean, Eric, you know how I am. Have I ever lost in the Steinholding contest? Have I ever lost?
You were 1-0.
I'm 1-0. Exactly. So
not as good as Jade Cargill. You know, still pretty good.
I just want to, you know, hey, I'm a guy who floats ideas in their head for a long time, and
I'll show you the bodysuit before we do it, before we agree on it, and then you can make a decision from there. And if we do end up doing it, we'll make sure to snap some pics and post them on the social media, which we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
I don't want to be the guy. I'm not just counting your idea, Eric. I'm the guy who's open for ideas. This could. I'm just. Afloat,
Sure. Yeah. You want to see
for the fans, like if that's what they want, that's what I do.
Yep.
I'm there for the fans. I'm there for the people of this podcast.
You want to see how the bodysuit looks, how the jumper, the onesie looks.
No, I don't
you
even
also
need
want
to
to see
see
how
it.
big and beefy my arms are looking before you commit to it. I understand.
Hey, if it's for the people, I am the people's guy.
So that's a yes. That's a yes.
In the state of America right now, this is the people's
That's what
guy.
we need. Bring people together, Ryan. So the next match, MJF, who is the gentleman on the right with the Burberry scarf and the nice little suit, he is going to be taking on Wardlow. So MJF, which stands for Maxwell Jacob Friedman, is the biggest piece of shit asshole in wrestling in the best possible way. I'm not saying that.
On the right, of the guy on the right.
He's
right?
Yes, the guy on the right.
Yeah,
he's the guy you love to hate.
He looks the part. Yeah.
Big piece of shit. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He has had Wardlow, the other gentleman there, under a personal service contract for the past 2 years to be his bodyguard lackey. Finally, the monstrous Wardlow has seen the light. He is fed up with MJF's shit, and he wants out of that contract. MJF has graciously accepted under the condition that Wardlow beat him at Double or Nothing. But as per usual, there was a series of catches. 1, Wardlow could not touch MJF before the event. 2, Wardlow had to allow MJF 10 lashes. So MJF had to literally whip him 10 times with his belt, and Wardlow just had to sit back and take it. And then 3rd, Wardlow had to compete against MJF's pal Sean Spears in a steel cage with MJF as the impartial referee. And 4, and lastly, if Wardlow loses at Double or Nothing, he can never sign an AEW contract. So I would expect, with 2 years worth of build behind this match, I would expect a very hot crowd. Everybody's going to be losing their shit for Wardlow.
Nice. I would just say there's some style on the right, man. Like that, you don't see that.
Oh, MJF style.
I'm not saying like I'm just. It's
sure. You strike me as a big Burberry guy, big scarf guy, potentially under the right circumstances.
Yeah, like if I put one on, it would look good. Like but I don't.
With those sunglasses, with those Seattle Children's sunglasses.
I'll wear a dress. Maybe I'll go to the match. I'll wear a dress shirt with a scarf. But then it would be.
Do you own a scarf?
I don't have a scarf.
You don't have a scarf. Don't have a driver's license.
Or overcoat. Like I don't have but I barely have a dress shirt, Eric.
These are all easily remedied.
Might come in my nicest, finest wear,
Or maybe a nude jumper.
Maybe, if it's hey.
And it looks like body hair too. It's pretty good looking. There's nipples on it. It's solid.
It's Vegas, man. Like that could be a possibility,
As far as what Ryan needs to do during that match, 1, stew in hatred for MJF, and 2, chant Wardlow during his silent entrance. So one of the things MJF has done to try and get underneath Wardlow's skin is he's taken away all his music, no pomp, no circumstance for his entrance, and he's led to the ring in handcuffs for each of his matches too by personal security. So everyone will be chanting Wardlow then. Second from the last match. We are almost to the end of this thing, my friend. And this one should be a fun one also up there for possible match of the night. We've got Anarchy in the arena, which means that you can fight anywhere in the arena. We've got 10 men, 5-on-5. We've got the Jericho Appreciation Society there on the right. And then we've got John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie Kingston on the left.
How do you think they're feeling right now? Like they're going into this weekend, but they're fighting. Like how are they feeling? Do you think they're feeling nervous? Like, are they nervous guys? Or
probably depends on the people. You know what? I bet the Jericho Appreciation Society, outside of Chris Jericho himself, there on the far left, I bet a lot of them are pretty nervous because this is one of the most highlighted they've been in quite some time. Some of the other dudes maybe less so much.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've got In this match, Chris Jericho, who is the gentleman there kind of in the center on the right-hand side with the long hair and the black glove, certifiable pro wrestling legend. We have not seen him yet in the show, but we will be in the near future. He has formed a group of men that appreciate him and all that he has done for the wrestling business, who are Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager, Cool Hand Angelo Parker, and Daddy Magic Matt Menard, in that order. How do you feel about Daddy Magic as a nickname?
I'm good with it.
Daddy Magic Ryan Murphy.
Whatever like gets them into the community that they need to be in, I'm good with it. Daddy Magic, like
the community that they need to be in. However, here's the main catch about the Jericho Appreciation Society. You see, Ryan, they consider themselves better than wrestlers. They are sports entertainers. And so this has drawn the ire of proud wrestlers Jon Moxley, Aberdeen, Washington native Bryan Danielson, who's kind of in the background there. He's the one with kind of the pointy beard on the left-hand side. There. That's Bryan Danielson, Aberdeen native. Seattle loves him. Big Seattle guy. We'll eventually get to him too. Santana, Ortiz, and especially right there in the center, he's pointing right at you, Ryan. We've got Eddie Kingston, who received a fireball to the face from self-proclaimed wizard Chris Jericho.
Is Chris Jericho in this fight?
Yeah, he is the guy in the black glove on the right side there.
So he's in the center.
Yeah, center right. Exactly. That's Chris Jericho. He threw a fireball in Eddie Kingston's face.
Have we seen that?
A fireball being thrown?
Yeah.
No. That is a fairly common wrestling thing. Not like super common, but there's definitely been guys who have been known to be fireball throwers.
What does a fireball mean? Like, maybe I'm missing the context here.
Basically what you do is either you'll have a lighter in your trunks, or maybe the referee hands you a lighter, whatever. But basically, you've got a lighter somewhere, and you've got what is called flash paper. So flash paper is paper that will light up and like burn out within a matter of like a second or two. And so the idea is that you light this flash paper and then you throw it, and it's basically a fireball that immediately goes out like a second or two later. So Jericho's been doing that to people as of late and claiming that he's a wizard.
It's great
because it's pretty good. The first time I heard him call himself a wizard, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I was like, he throws fireballs. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. So this fight is literally going to be all over the arena. So do not be shocked if we get up close and personal with at least a couple of these participants. So they may be brawling up the stairways. I mean, there's 10 fucking guys, so it would not shock me if we were up close and personal with at least a portion of that. So as far as things that Ryan needs to do during the match, Jon Moxley on the far left, his entrance song is Wild Thing. Did you ever see Major League? The Charlie Sheen.
I want to say yes. That's actually a movie. Yeah, but
maybe not then.
Potentially not.
Potentially not. Anyway, do you know the song Wild Thing?
Wild Thing, she makes my heart sing.
Yeah. So you got to sing that when Jon Moxley shows up. Brian.
No, go ahead.
No.
I have nothing to say. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Eric.
Again, and I'll reiterate this. I know this. I said this at the start and hurt your feelings. I do not expect you to remember all these things. If you just take a handful of these things from our conversation, that's good enough for me. I can at least point to be like, oh, that's the dentist. Or I can say like, oh, she's 30-0, which is much better than your record. I can point to these things and you'll at least have some frame of reference. But I don't expect you to remember absolutely everything we're talking about.
It's nice of you to do this for me, Eric.
I'm nothing if not a generous man. Yeah. You also, one of the other things you got to do, Bryan Danielson there in the pointy beard, not the far left, but second from the far left. He does he doesn't do it, but the crowd does it. Yes, yes. Yes, we got to chant yes for Bryan Danielson. And then third and lastly for this match, try and touch a wrestler's hiney.
You're saying we're going to be close?
I'm saying that with 10 guys who are literally like this match, this fight is going to go everywhere. Like people are going to be going all over the arena. I would not be shocked. And I don't know how close we are to the actual steps necessarily, but
Are we first level?
No, we're up a little ways. We tried to get as best.
We're not going to get anywhere close to Heine anywhere this match.
I bet we could get close to Heine. You got to believe, Ryan. You got to be a positive thoughts, positive deeds type of guy. Last match, the main event here today, Ryan. And on Sunday, we have got the AEW World Championship between Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk. What?
So I said cum Punk. Never mind. Just disregard. I thought it was cum Punk. Initially, but it's CM Punk. I got you.
Cum Punk.
With a U.
Well, I'm never going to be able to. Yeah, No, I picked that up. Yep, you didn't.
Yeah. I didn't have to. All right. Let's move on.
Jesus Christ, Ryan. I'm never going to be able to live that down now. I'm never going to be able to see that without thinking cum Punk. But anyway, we've got Hangman versus Punk. Hangman Page on the left, the current champion.
All right.
He's
carry on. Right?
Thank you. He has been a fan favorite champion. Much like yourself, he is a self-described anxious millennial cowboy.
Who?
Hangman Page with the long blonde hair.
I love it.
He's finally put his doubts aside. He's finally started believing himself, and he won the AEW title from his longtime rival, Kenny Omega, who we've seen on the show at the end of last year. Since then, he's been on a mission to prove that he is a worthy champion. He's competed in 60-minute matches. He's had these bloodbaths. He's been coming out on top of all of these different fights. However, the returning legend, CM Punk, not cum Punk, but CM Punk, has other plans. So after stepping away from wrestling for 7 years, the straight edge hero, Punk, has returned to AEW, and fans are excited as fuck. CM Punk, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, the fastest, but his mind for wrestling is second to none, and he has gone out of his way to try and get inside the mind of the Hangman with a great deal of success.
Well, he's already he's in his mind he's not there, right? Like Hangman's had some trauma, as a millennial,
an anxious millennial cowboy like yourself.
Eric, this might be the most standout guy I've ever met in wrestling in the 60 matches we've done. I'm a Hangman Page fucking fan for life. This is my guy.
My loyalty does not waver.
It does not at all. This is I will wait 4 hours to get to this match, and then I'll be Hangman Page. I'm Hangman Page all day.
I hope that you're just the right amount of drunk for when this match starts. Not too drunk, not too little drunk, but just right. The porridge just right.
I might be very drunk by the time this match hits. If it's number 12, there's a lot of matches, but
it's only 11.
Okay,
Crybaby.
11. Hangman is my guy. I'm
gonna keep that in mind. Maybe we can get you a nice Hangman Page shirt. Represent.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm gonna go there with a Hangman shirt.
Perfect. We'll make that happen.
Wow.
So Punk wants to cement his return to the ring. Again, he was gone for 7 years, and he wants to prove that he is still the best in the world by winning the world title. Whereas Hangman Page wants to establish himself as the greatest AEW champion of all time, which defeating the legendary CM Punk would likely do.
Let me ask you. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but so all these matches are for the title. They're all lead-up matches, and this is the title match. It's
this is the biggest title in the company. This is the main men's heavyweight title.
Yeah.
This is the main event. There are other title matches that are going to be happening, but the women cannot wrestle for this title, for example. There is a women's title and there's a men's title.
Well, that's fucked up. Should we? Why not?
Because some sponsors don't feel great about. I don't know if this is a legitimate question or not. Some sponsors don't feel great about having intergender wrestling. There are companies that do that, but AEW does not do intergender wrestling.
There's no AEW like women's title like.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that there is a women's title and then there is a men's title. This is the men's title that we're talking about here.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes, but there's two women's title matches.
There's
a women's world title that has your friend Serena Deeb, the professor, the woman of 1,000 holds. She's in the women's world title match.
Not the dentist though.
Not the dentist. No, she's in the Owen Hart tournament.
It's a lot, man.
There's. I'm gonna have you recite it all back to me at the end of this thing here. But no, there are some title matchups. This is like the title. Like this is
the big one. This is
the big one. This is the main event. This is where all
it's one-on-one. It's just one-on-one match. Like
just one-on-one, just down and dirty, just the way you like it.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is why I fucking come to Vegas for. Like this kind of shit right here. You hype me up for the story. I'm here. I'm here for it. Like, that's it.
I like your enthusiasm. I like it a lot. I'm glad we found somebody that you could really grab hold of. It's unfortunate. There's another wrestler that I think you'd really like as well, but he's hurt. So Hangman Page, he's your guy. The things you have to do during this match, Ryan, you got to sing along to CM Punk's theme song, Cult of Personality by Living Color. Do I need to hum a few bars to that one?
I mean, you can. I don't know. I may not.
Like Mussolini. The cult of personality. That anyway. And then so you have to sing along to that. You also have to chant cowboy shit for Hangman Page. That's the big thing. Whenever he does cool fucking shit, you got to yell. You just cowboy shit. And then third and finally, your last duty of the night: don't complain to Eric about the length of the show.
I mean, you're making it pretty clear, but god damn it, Eric. Like, if you're saying 4 to 5 hours.
So we can probably do the math on this. So the actual pay-per-view event itself starts at 5 p.m. The pre-show starts at 4. Yeah, it'll probably be about 5 hours.
It's not like too. I'm not a complainer. I think our fans.
Everyone knows that.
Talk to Greta. She would say I never complained, but
yeah. Clearly.
I'm an unfocused guy. Like,
I think and correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like in general day-to-day life, we have so few chances to just be rowdy and just fucking yell, where it's not only is it allowed for you to be yelling, but it's like encouraged to just like fucking get into it. And so I think the thing that I think it's impossible to have a bad time at a pro wrestling show as long as you just allow yourself to like get swept up in it. If you're self-conscious, and not that I think that you would be, but if you're like self-conscious and like, oh, I don't want to do like stuff, like you're probably not going to have a great time. But if you just fucking allow yourself to enjoy it and kind of just take it for what it is, I think you're going to have an amazing time.
First of all, Eric, I'm very self-conscious. Like, I'm my number one trait possibly, but that I am preparing myself to be fully like indulged in this 5-hour match. I've never gone to a wrestling match. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for all of them, not just the young struggling millennial,
right?
For
the whole gang, the dentist.
But I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna, Sunday I'm gonna plan to really just like drink up to a perfect extent, and
right.
Just take it where it needs to be. Like, take wrestling to the state it needs to be. Like, they need me. They need a guy like me who's, not a wrestling fan,
right?
Who got dropped into the wrestling podcast game. Yeah, they need me. Like, so I'll be there for them. I'll be there for them. I'll be there for myself. I'll be there for the podcast. I'll be there for everyone.
God damn it. I can't handle you right now. That's the show. That is Sunday. This coming Sunday. I'm sure we will be posting more, not anything to this extent, but we'll be posting some stuff during our visit over the course of the weekend. So stay tuned to our social media channels, probably Facebook and Instagram specifically. But yeah, I appreciate you. If you tuned in for this, appreciate it. Hopefully this was beneficial for anybody who was looking for a quick rundown, or maybe not so quick rundown, of the AEW card. But Ryan, anything else that you want to say to our adoring public?
That's all I had. Brought all I had. Yeah.
Well, if you're not hard, get hard. Once you get hard, stay hard. Memorial Day weekend, AEW Double or Nothing, Stein holding contest. Ryan's going to be wearing a new jumper. See you soon, everybody.